Live life so that you create good vibes. The good vibes. Live life so that you radiate good vibes. The good vibes. Live life so that you generate good vibes. The good vibes. Live life so as to emanate good vibes. The good vibes. Spread the message of your life with good vibes. With good vibes. With good vibes. Welcome to the Good Vibes podcast. Hey my friends, it's your host Tushar. I welcome you to this episode of the Good Vibes, where we embark our journey of evolved learning. Evolved learning is when we learn from all the people in our lives whom we meet and otherwise, and all the things and situations that we see and experience. In general, we learn from life. That's the speciality of an evolved learner. So get pumped up now to reclaim your life again and feel the good vibes. Hey my friends, and welcome to the Good Vibes. I've got you an amazing person to meet today. We're going to have a really amazing talk about finding a life's mission. The person I'm going to introduce you to is Mr. Ram Badrinathan, an entrepreneur right now. He started off as an engineer, but middle of his path, on his path, he found a mission that really pulled him, that made him wake up every day and pushed him despite all the challenges that he's faced. You know the challenges one faces as an entrepreneur. He's faced all of them and he's going on like a bullet train. I mean, that's the josh and that's the motivation with which he's moving on. And if you meet him, he's a really happy man to meet. He's a kind of a person who brings in the energy wherever he goes. So you can really feel him. He's always smiling and he says, "Ennadi kana." He greets me like that. And his whole outlook to life is that of a loving outlook. So that's why I've brought him to meet you, so that you can learn from what he's going to say and why he thinks having a mission is super important. Passing the mic to Mr. Ram Badrinathan.
Tushar, so I'm very happy to be in Delhi. I've been tracking your podcast. Your podcast tend to be my morning walk. When I go for my walks, I listen to your podcast. So it's great to be here. I've heard some very interesting conversation with your friends, with your Achi, with the 9-year-old girl from Coimbatore, your niece, your cousin. So, when we were discussing what I should talk about, the only thing that kind of I have personally experienced, I have seen people is when they find their true calling, it comes at different ages in life. And at different ages in life, you can have different callings. But the key is whatever calling that you have, you should do it for a sustained amount of time. It's not that at 17, for example, now you have this mission, passion to do podcasts where you talk about things that inspire you and that will inspire others. It's not that at 40 you will be still doing podcasts. But I still think you should do podcasts for enough amount of time where it really, you internalize it and you reach a state of excellence. And that maybe at 25 you want to become a filmmaker. So you could transfer it there. And I have seen this with others where, I keep talking about Ramchandra Guha, the famous historian. He was not interested in history till 25. He did his Stephens, he did economics, then he did Delhi School of Economics. He was a very average economic student. But somewhere when he did his doctorate in IIM Calcutta, he found passion in history. He excelled when many people who have studied history have not excelled. Because from 10 to 24, All he was passionate about was cricket. He used to play every day. He played Stephens College. He just, the sadhana. I've seen it with my own nephew, Adi. The fact that he every day practices. There is a different level of excellence that he's achieving. You have 5 hours a day. And now I see that with you, Tushar. Keep at it.
Thank you so much, Mama. And before we get into the depth of this topic, we've already got into the depths of this topic. I want you to define a mission, because all that you're expressing over here is how people have excelled when they found that thing that charges them up every single day. So, if you can put it in your words, what is a mission and why should someone have it?
Something that gives you a higher purpose than just yourself. Something that you get up in the morning with energy and the third morning and the fourth morning and the 35th morning and the 300th morning, and despite all the challenges you keep at it. We have not succeeded as a business, but I still believe that what we have set out to do can change the world. That hope that you have set out to do something that is so transformational, which allows you to get up and face all the challenges possible, is, I think, the mission.
That's such a nice definition, Mama. And you've already told us the various reasons that you should have a mission, because it pumps you up every day. And I want to ask you a few questions on a mission. Firstly, how do you find it?
So it's a very good question. I think in India there was a system of Jagran where you get exposed to different ideas. There is all our festivals are Jagran. So you have a Deepavali festival, you have Holi. These are all exposing you to different thoughts. That is one way of getting exposed. Today, mass media does a very good job. The whole power of AAP was driven by the Anna Hazare movement, which was driven by television. 5 years ago, nobody knew about Kejriwal. But because of the movement and television gave 24/7 coverage, suddenly he came to. So today, mass media exposes you to different disciplines. Like the food shows. If you look at the food shows, they have resulted in so many cooks coming out and cooking becoming a glamorous profession. So I think today mass media really gives you different aspects of mission. So that is one way. The other way is luck. It's not that the podcast mission that you have got came through any strategy. It just happened, right? You got it. So there are two things. One is, I think mass media today provides really the sparks people's interest in identifying different missions. Secondly, it comes through luck and through somebody telling you, something, that incident that happened. So these are two ways that I have seen.
Okay. So what you're saying is Jagran is essentially exposure to something, and you're saying that multimedia gives you that exposure. So essentially, to find a mission, it's exposure, so that your awareness and exposure to various things. So how do you know that you're exposed to so many things? You have such a short life when you look at it, and it's so short to be exposed to so many things. So when do you know that after being exposed to so many things, I found my mission? It has to be within those things you're exposed to, however long it takes to. So where do you find your mission? Do you keep searching for the next exposure, or do you choose from what you've got?
So I'll take your example. So Jagran hua, podcast kya hai? Then you got interested. In India, it's called Jigyasa, discovery. So then you say, okay, what is podcast? Let me do some research. Let me hear some podcast. So that is called discovery. So you didn't do 3 years of discovery. You did 2 months. So that discovery, then you found, then it takes your interest further. You understood the equipment, what is required. Now you have state of the art. Before you used to use a phone. So Jigyasa is the next stage. So you do this short Jigyasa in different areas. You might be interested in politics or arts or film. You did the Jigyasa of filmmaking, right? You actually went and shot. You did that, but you have taken to podcasting. But you did. So Jigyasa is what you do to understand what the mission is.
Okay.
So that is the stage 2.
Okay. So stage 1 is Jagran, that is awareness. Stage 2 is Jigyasa. So once you're aware of something, you have to go and try to discover it. And once you discover it, what happens?
Then you say, boss, okay, you have discovered 4 subjects, like you did filmmaking, you did podcast and running, you did running for 2 years. Then you said, boss, ठीक है, अभी मुझे podcasting में अध्ययन का. Third stage is Adhayayan. It is just study, committed study. Then you do Adhayayan. So you're in the Adhayayan stage. Now you have decided, got the product, you have done 55 podcasts. So now you're doing it in a thing. After 1 year, you will be in the sadhana phase, where you would have created 200 podcasts, you will know the technology, you will know how to speak, how to engage, what content will be. Then you will say, I am now in the sadhana phase. Yes.
Superb. So the 4 stages are Jagran, Jigyasa, Adhayayan, and Sadhana. So Adhayayan is deep study, and Sadhana is committed practice for a long time. I mean, it should be at least 7-8 years, like what you said. Now, what about the people who have discovered what they like? They've done the Jigyasa, but then they've gone into something in which they are not passionate about. Should they just say, okay, boss, I have to leave this? And or should they continue? I mean, you know the stories of so many people who know what they like, but they've not gone into Adhayayan. They've not got into deep study to know that that's their mission. They've gone into Jigyasa. They know, okay, I like this, but they're doing something on a tangent that's not pumping them up every day. That's not going to lead them to find their mission, because they've not got the Adhayayan in. So what should you do?
At different ages are different. Like at 35, there are different choices you make to do the committed Adhayayan and Sadhana. That is why I'm a big believer that the sooner you get into this, you understand this hierarchy of development and education and learning and growth, easier it is.
Okay.
So the more later you do it, the more difficult it becomes.
Okay. So what for the people who have got, like, let's just take a cliched example of a student getting into engineering and now is 10 years down the line and is tired of it now. So should he snap and make the jump?
Good question. So there are 2 stages in life, okay? 3 stages where you get this fork in your life. And I have seen that with different people, including my own. One is at the 17, 21, you make these choices, which college you go to and all that. Then at 21, you take a decision which job or whatever you do. And then you do that for about 8 years. At 29, 30, you get another fork because you have done it for about 8-9 years. Then psychologically, then you again come into a fork in life. So there are these 3 forks in life which gives you the option to decide the new path. So that happens to most people, that these different age groups. 17, then 21, when they have to find that opportunity, and then at 29. So I think, so what do you do? So because there is no structured way of finding your purpose at 29, they go back into doing what they are doing. तुम समझ रहे हो ना क्या बोल रहा हूँ?
So you were saying that there are forks which you are going to come upon. It doesn't depend on where you are. I mean, you're going to come across a fork. So you're going to get chances even if you've taken the wrong decision before. If you've gone into some field which you don't like, you get to take that chance, and you took the chance. So what inspired you to take that chance? So many of us think it's not worth it because they are not worth it, or they have so many things running on their mind. I don't know, it's inexplainable for so many situations. You had immense courage and faith in yourself. Is that there?
Yeah. One thing I've always had is, as you said, I've had 2 sadhanas. Till 28, 29, I was not exceptional. I was quite average. So it requires a sense of self-belief and a sense of intelligence. I believe that we are on the right direction.
Superb. So we have succeeded in finding out how to have a mission and how to accomplish or get into the depths of the mission. It's a 4-stage procedure: Jagran, Jigyasa, Adhayayan, and Sadhana. That's the whole process. So that's the gist of my mama's thought process. Really inspiring. We've talked about how to first find the mission, how to pursue it, and how to live the mission. Then we've also talked about how you can always find a mission, and then there's an abundance of opportunity. You're always going to get a fork, so just keep your mind open to achieving that fork. So that was today's podcast, my friends. I hope you enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it with Ram Badrinathan. I'll meet you again next time. Hey my friends, did you enjoy this podcast? If you did, do rate and review it so that the people who come here know what you think about it. And if you feel someone in your life needs to hear this message, don't think twice about sharing it. Or if this inspires you to record one of your own podcasts, go ahead and spread the good vibes. Spread the message of your life with good vibes. With good vibes.